Lesson 4 is using our next two exponent rules. This is powers of monomials. Again, monomials are just one term. So on this one, the power of a power rule says that when you have a number with an exponent and parentheses and another exponent outside, you're multiplying the two exponents. So 2 multiplied by 3 would give me 5 to the 6th power here. And so all of these, we would multiply the two exponents. On your next rule, this is very similar. It's a power of a product. So when there are more than one thing inside of the parentheses, so there's a 6 here and an x squared, both would be raised to the third power. So we take the 6 to the third power and then multiply these exponents here. 2 multiplied by 3 would give us 6 to the third power, which when we put that in the calculator, we would get 216. And then 2 multiplied by 3 gives me x to the 6th power. So here, same thing. You have to make sure that you do the 3 to the 5th power and the a squared to the 5th power. Negative 2 to the 5th, m to the 7th to the 5th, and n to the 6th to the 5th. So let's do these guided practice questions here. So here we've got 3 to the 2nd raised to the 5th power. So we're going to multiply the 2 and the 5, and we're going to end up with 3 to the 10th power. And that's all we have to do on that one. The next one was h to the 6th power raised to the 4th power. So again, this is one thing inside the parentheses. And so we would multiply the 6 and the 4. So that our answer would be h to the 24th power. The base stays the same. Okay, here. This one we're going to multiply from the inside to the outside. So first we've got 3 multiplied by 2. So this part would give us 2 to the 6th power. 2 is the base, and it doesn't change. So 2 to the 6th power, and then we've got the 3 outside again. So we're going to multiply these as well. So 6 multiplied by 3 gives us 2 to the 18th power. And if they want you to come up with a complete answer for this one, then we would type in 2 to the 18th power into the calculator and get 262,144. So both of these are correct answers, depending on what the question is asking for. Just pay attention to whether they want it completely, or you could put both on your answer if they have a question like this, just to make sure that we completely get it correct. All right, so if we look at number 4, we have a 7 inside the parentheses, and we have a w to the 7th power. So we're going to do 7 to the 3rd power and w to the 7th to the 3rd power. So here again, we can multiply these two exponents to get w to the 21 power. Usually when we have a number and a variable, we would go ahead and put this part into the calculator to get a full number for a coefficient. So 7 to the 3rd power would give me 343. W to the 21st does not change, and so this would be my final answer on number 4. Number 5 is similar. We have a 5 inside the parentheses, a g to the 8th, and a k to the 12th. So all 3 of these would be to the 4th power. 5 to the 4th power, 8 multiplied by 4 here would give me g to the 32 power, and 12 multiplied by 4 would give me k to the 48th power. This is not 5 multiplied by 4, okay? It's kind of like we have a 1 here for our exponent, and so we're doing 1 multiplied by 4 to give us 5 to the 4th power here. So do not multiply 5 and 4. That will not give you the correct answer. 5 to the 4th power we can put in the calculator and get 625. So our final answer then would be 625, g to the 32, k to the 48th power. Same on number 6. Negative 6 is one part, r to the 5th is another part, s to the 9th is another part. So all 3 of these would be squared or to the 2nd power. So remember again, when we have a negative that we have an exponent, we have to put the negative part in parentheses. So this is negative 6 to the 2nd power. Again, if you want to think of this as a 1 exponent, we can do 1 multiplied by 2 to give us 2. 5 multiplied by 2 would give us 10 for the r, and then 9 multiplied by 2 would give us 18 for the s. When we do negative 6 to the second power, we would get 36. So our final answer then would be 36 for the number r to the 10th, s to the 18th. And lastly, number 7 was a word problem. It says, the floor of the commons room at King Middle School is in the shape of a square. So we have to know a square has all sides the same length. And the side lengths, it says, are x squared y cubed feet. So new tile is going to be put on the floor of the room. So we have to find the area of the floor. So I drew myself a picture, which you should always do if you have a word problem. I drew a square, and it says the side lengths are x squared y cubed. And I want to find the area. And I remember that area of a square, I would multiply the length times the width. So I would multiply both of these together. That means they're the same thing since it's a square, and so there's 2 of them. So I can write it like this, or I can write it x squared y cubed multiplied by x squared y cubed. Either way will give me the same answer. If I write it like this, I would add the exponent. So 2 plus 2 will give me x to the 4th power. 3 plus 3 will give me y to the 6th power. And it's feet squared, because area is always feet squared or units squared, okay? Or if I write it like this, I'm multiplying the exponent. So x squared to the 2nd power is x to the 4th. Y cubed to the 2nd power is y to the 6th feet squared. So you'll get the same answer either way that you write it. Whichever one is easier for you is fine. And that's it for lesson 4.